Hello everybody, GL1 here, and welcome once again to my online toy museum. So the other day I was talking to you about Build to Rule, or BTR, construction sets, the Transformers and the G.I. Joe, and I thought this would be a good time to also talk about the Kreo Star Trek set. Kreo also made Transformers. But before that, or concurrently with that, in 2013, they made the Enterprise. Now, throughout the years, they have tried over and over again to market Star Trek toys, much like Star Wars toys. Star Wars toys, of course, we know are very successful, and in fact, they were the first toys that were associated with a movie and began the whole process of selling toys with movies. And that was 1977, the first Star Wars movie. And actually, the toys have made even more money for the franchise than the movies themselves. So many times they have started and stopped trying to make Star Trek toys. And when I was a kid, I had to make up my own. So in the 80s, and this is a 1988 set, and believe it or not, it is now worth $230 just for these 6 figures. But when I was a kid, I would take these figures and I would say, okay, well, this is going to be Kirk, and this is going to be Spock, and this is going to be Scotty. And then I would have to find another blue body for McCoy. And, that's what I would do. Maybe I'd find a couple other red guys. And I had these space people from even before this in the earlier 80s. So I would have to make do with whatever I had to make my own Enterprise. I'd make my own Enterprise on wheels. And, I always wanted a construction Star Trek set. And now, like the Playmobil Star Trek set is like $500. And there have been other ones. I know Mega Bloks had made one years, probably maybe 15, 12 years ago. And it wasn't big enough to put people in. So when this came about, this Kreo set, I really jumped on it, and I was really excited, that you could put people inside. So here it is, and it lights up. So I did a little bit of changes on how this lifts off so that it's just easier to take on and off. And there you go. You have your crew inside, and take a look at Mr. Spock, because this is kind of cute. You have the Vulcan ears, and then you have, he has his phaser. I rearranged where the chairs are as well in the set to kind of make it more to the way the old Enterprise was. Now this goes to the newer Star Trek movies that had different actors, but the original Star Trek with William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelley, and the bunch, I wanted it to be more like that. So here is your screen, so that can fold up. Now, you can't put the top on it as easily, but, they would always be, traveling the stars and looking out at their viewer. And then Captain Kirk, of course, in his chair here. Here's Kirk. All right, so this little fancy hairdo. Now, the Kreo sets are different also from Lego in that they do have some lateral shoulder motion. They have the wrists turn, they're just like the Lego, and they have lateral motion in their hips. And I find this also to be more action-oriented and better. It's, hair falls off. All right, well, it looks like William Shatner's toupee has fallen off. So it's often reported, rumored that he has a toupee. I think it's probably pretty widely accepted now. So there he is sitting in his chair, and then Mr. Sulu, the navigator here, and then here you go, Sulu. So he looks a very angry Sulu, right? And he flies the ship. I don't have a checkoff. And here is Dr. McCoy. And there he is, Dr. McCoy. So, young Dr. McCoy. All right, and then a couple of security guys in the back. And I guess you could even pretend that they're nefarious characters, antagonists. So, but in this case, there are guards. All right, well, this Enterprise has some surprises. It has a couple of surprises. All right, trying to get him to stay down. All right, you can see these, little computer screens there. I'll show you that a little bit in detail. See that? All right, well, this also does this. So underneath here is a button, and you push the button, and you can see it lights up. And you push it again, and then it changes a little bit. Push it a third time, get some blinking. So, yeah, so that gives you a little bit of fun there. And it even fires a missile. So here's the missile. It only has one, so you don't want to lose it. And you push that, and there you go. There's the missile fires. So, see that underneath? All right, all lit up. And if you want to look at the details on how the nacelles work, the warp drives, engines of the Enterprise, these lift up. And we can look inside there. There you go. That's what that looks like inside. So if you ever wanted to know what it looked like in the warp drive of the Enterprise, there you have it. All right, and turn that around for you. So there it is from the side. Now this Enterprise is also stark white, whereas on the show it was kind of a silvery gray color. But who really cares? It's just great to finally have an Enterprise to play with. All right. So Kreo also made a shuttle set. And here's the shuttle. And it's got the same tag numbers, NCC 1701. You can see that there too. There's your shuttle. And this came with Sulu in a red suit, and I'm not sure where he is right now, but it's like there was a rescue adventure in the first movie, and the shuttle's involved, and there you go. This is the shuttle that was in the movie, made by Kreo, and I believe it's on the back here. So they show you, there you go, yeah. So, all right, so there's Sulu. Okay, well, we have Sulu in the ship. I think that might be Spock. It's hard. It's been a while since I saw the movie. Yeah, Spock's volcano mission. Okay, so that's Spock, yeah, in the volcano suit. There's the volcano pieces. All right, and you could have gotten a Klingon bird of prey, which looks like it would have come with Uhura. And I didn't see that set. I would have loved to have had Uhura for this set. And Trouble with the Transporter, I think that came with Chekhov, and I didn't get that set, so I don't have a Chekhov. And I don't have any of these other sets. And then you see you can get small versions of the ships. All right, the Klingon Battlecruiser, the Kelvin, the Jellyfish. All right, so this was all 2012, 2013. So 10 years ago. That's how long this has been sitting here. All right, so that goes like that. All right, well, in 2017, Mega Bloks also got the contract for making some Star Trek toys, and they made this. This is from the City on the Edge of Forever, and this is a time portal that Kirk and Spock went through. And here we go. I'm going to bring this over. Pause this a second. All right, so in 2017, we have the Mega Bloks versions of Star Trek, some sets, and here is the engine room. All right, the schematics of the ship, basically. And Scotty. Now, you'll see right away, these are very different than the Kreo characters. So, here is, for example, McCoy. All right, this is McCoy and Kreo, and it's the Lego scaling. And then here is McCoy in Mega Bloks. So, vastly different, isn't it? I mean, with these characters, you have knees, hips that go in all directions, elbows, shoulders that move in all directions, wrists that turn, and even the heads can tilt. Okay, so they can be expressive. You have a very nicely detailed communicator, much like the flip phone today. And then here is your tricorder. Let's slip that off. And it even has like a rubber lanyard there. There's your tricorder. In fact, if you look real close, you can even see the screen on there and the buttons. Right? So that's McCoy. And then, you have a well-detailed Star Trek logo there. All right. And then let me show you the other characters here. We'll do that later. Well, here is the transporter room. And if you ever wondered what the transporter looked like on the other side, what was Scotty was working with, here it is. And I think they did show it a few times, and it did look like that. It's really neat. So this is supposed to be like the transporter effect in the background, and this would send the energy. And here's Mr. Spock. All right. So very different Mr. Spock. Take a look. Here's our Spocks. Right? But really neat, huh? I mean, look at the detail on, his cuffs. And he's got a tricorder. And look, his tricorder has silver on it, unlike McCoy's. Right, so, and then let me show you. Here is a security guy. Oh no, the security guy, he's going to get killed. The red shirts, there's always a joke, the red shirt guys would always die. Always the security, they'd come on. Maybe they would have a line, they'd speaking part, but usually they didn't. He's got a phaser, and then usually some alien or energy being, or maybe a transporter accident. Something would befall the poor security guy, but not my security guy. He's going to do fine. So, but I'll tell you what, you didn't want to be on Star Trek in a red shirt if you were on a cameo for that. All right, now here is Kirk. And you'll notice that his communicator has the gold up on top, just like they used to. And you look at poor McCoy, doesn't have the paint detail. But Kirk has that. And look at the inside of his communicator. It even is painted silver inside. Whereas poor McCoy's, it's probably not even a working model. They probably just gave McCoy a dud and just said, here, you'll feel safe with this. But it's not, probably just not a working model. And look there's his phaser. A lot of detail on the phaser. Same phaser. Well, that's good. At least they have the same phaser. Now, if you look at the phaser on the Kreo, this is the phaser designed from the newer Star Trek movies, so it looks different. And the way that goes into their hand, that pegs into their leg, there's a hole, and then that just snaps into their, and then the legs come off. But now you would just kind of push that into their hand like that. And then push that, there you go. All right. So you can compare that. Same thing, right? All right. And then we have, I believe, Sulu over here. Oh no, this is Chekhov. There we go. We have Chekhov. And it looks like Chekhov, See, with his hair comb like that over to the side. And it looks like Chekhov. So, all right. So he was like a junior science officer and sometimes navigator. All right. And there you go. So these are the construction sets I have. that deal with Star Trek. And as a bonus, I have this, and I know I have the Spock somewhere too, but this is Captain Kirk in the Amok Time episode where Kirk had to fight Spock in order to get Spock out of a jam on his planet of Vulcan. And there you go. There's Spock, also the Amok Time character. And then, you see, they were making all the Masters of the Universe characters, Tila. And actually, I have the Tila here. I actually have a lot more than just Tila, which I haven't shown you in one of my sets yet, shows. But I will. It's coming. So, all right. So that's Tila. And here is, there was an episode of Star Trek where there was like an evil Kirk where he goes to a mirror universe. I think it was called Mirror Mirror, actually. And you see this sash. So that was like a clue that that's not the Kirk. So he goes to the mirror universe, and he's clear because he's transporting. And, he would turn into the evil Kirk. All right. And hang on, because I have something cool to show you. Oftentimes when I'm doing my shows, I then remember, I have something else I can show you that goes along with that. All right, so let me show you here. So this is a Mini-Mates set. All right, so Mini-Mates are kind of blocky like Legos or Mega Bloks. Obviously, you can see they're on a different scale. All right, and they don't really stick. They kind of can stick with Legos, but they're a different scale, right? So this is the set where you have the mirror universe of Spock. And notice the beard, and they have a different symbol on there. This not the Federation, and they have that sash, right? So just like the invisible one, sort of that clear, you see that has the sash there, and there's Kirk's sash there. It's on the side. Can you see that? And then you have, the Mir Sulu, and then Uhura. Yeah, Mirror Mirror, I remember that right. I can't remember her, but she was critical in the episode. What was her name? Let's see, does it say it here? Oh, okay, I don't remember, and it's not here. But anyway, all right, so she was in the other mirror universe, and she helped Kirk reluctantly. She realized that he was pretending to be the bad Kirk because he realized he was in some kind of alternate universe, but she could tell that it wasn't him because he really wasn't bad. And but she helped him get back to his universe and trade the Kirks, trade them with each other, get them back in the right dimension. And I know that she had realized that she could maybe change her universe and make everything not so bad. And you'll see that there's the knives, because in this mirror universe, everybody carried a knife on the ship. All right, so that's not the only Mini-Mate set. There's Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. And here you go. You have Khan here from the episode Space Seed. All right, so Khan was a human being that had been genetically modified to be, superior intellect and 5 times your strength, Captain, as he bragged to Captain Kirk in the episode when they were fighting. And, but Kirk ends up in Wrath of Khan, the movie. But so there you go. You can see, look at the detail on the communicator, but not really that much more detail than the communicator we have from Mega Constructs, right? Very similar. So good job, Mega Constructs. All right. And then look, you can get Picard and Hugh and Janeway. So those are other Star Trek characters, 7 of 9. All right. And I have the Janeway and 7 of 9 characters. And this is a Toys R Us exclusive. So I wonder how much these are worth. Who knows, right? Well, I know I like having them just, no pieces lost and just having them right in the box, right? And just hanging them up on the wall and looking at them, because what else am I going to do with them, right? So, all right, there you go. That is the complete Star Trek construction sets collection. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're, a Star Trek fan and can see how much fun this is to finally have, some cool Star Trek construction sets that you can seek out and strange new worlds and find some of your own that maybe you can get on eBay or something. All right. Well, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.